Hey, it's Sam. Welcome back to the Just Grill and Outdoor Living channel. Today, we're going to be doing cedar plank salmon on the Hestan Gas Grill. Plank cooking is one of my favorite things to do that, truthfully, I just don't do often enough, but it's super easy, and I'm gonna break it down for you. So plank cooking is exactly what it sounds like. You're gonna be cooking on a wood plank, and there's different flavor varieties of wood depending on what you're cooking. Salmon is just one of the most popular things to cook on a plank, so that's why we're showing you it. It's easy to get a smoky flavor because you're cooking right on the wood source, so as it burns, that smoke rises right into the food that's sitting on top of the plank. It's great for gas grills, but it's also useful on charcoal grills as well. We're gonna be doing cedar plank salmon, but we're gonna elevate it a little bit. A lot of the dishes that I cook are great weeknight meals because that's when I do most of my grilling, surprisingly, is Monday through Friday, and then I'm worn out on the weekends. But I'm doing most of my cooking Monday through Friday, so I don't have a lot of time when I get home from work because I want to relax and do other things. So to elevate cedar plank salmon, we're going to make sweet chili cedar plank salmon. It's not really going to take any extra time to add that sweet chili glaze, but it adds a ton of flavor to it. Plank cooking is fairly easy. I'm going to set the grill up to medium-high heat, and I'm going to want to watch it. It's my first time using a plank on the Hestan grill, so I don't know exactly where my sweet spot is on the dial yet. So if you've never plank cooked before, don't be intimidated by it. It's really easy, but you're gonna wanna kind of monitor your grill because the planks can catch on fire, so that's why we're watching it. You can have a bottle of water nearby to douse the flames and things. I don't typically do that, but you can do that if you want to. But that's why we want to watch it a little bit, and we're going to be monitoring. So that's why I'm kind of giving you that medium to medium-high range, because I'm going to find that sweet spot as I'm cooking with it. For those unfamiliar with what planks are or plank cooking, so planks are wooden planks. So it's going to be like smoking wood, chunks, chips, things of that sort. Same concept. You're using it to get smoke flavor. So the most common size is going to be 5 by 11, and here I'm holding a 2-pack of Just Grill and Outdoor Living's premium planks. We've got 4 varieties. They're all fantastic. Alder, hickory, maple, and cedar, which we're using today. So I've got my unopened pack here, but I have an open pack down here soaking. So with planks, you need to soak them before, as opposed to wood chips and wood chunks that you don't always necessarily need to do that for. The reason that you're soaking the wood plank is because it's going to be taking that direct flame and it would just char up and burn up so fast. A lot of the time when you're doing plank cooking, you're doing high heat, so that flame, like I said, is going to burn it right up. So you want to let these soak. Ideally, the longer the better. Like I said, I cook on weeknights, so I give them about 15 minutes, maybe a half hour. The ideal time would be about an hour to 2 hours, but it's not the end of the world. At least give it 15 minutes to soak, so that way it's not going to char up immediately. You're going to have a nice smolder as it's cooking and the flame is hitting it. And that's one of the other reasons that I like plank cooking as well, is because it protects your food from the flame. So rather than direct cooking that sometimes is going to dry something out really fast, like a delicate cut like salmon, which you can do direct cooking with, it just has that extra layer of protection from the plank cooking. Barbecue people are kind of genius in their own ways. They find a lot of household items and different things you wouldn't think of to make stuff easier. The competition circuit guys, they're always coming up with different things. So what I do, because I don't really have anything that's going to be great for soaking the planks at home, ideally a nice long aluminum pan, but I just took a raised rim sheet pan, I filled it with some water, the planks are in here soaking, but the planks are light, so they're going to float to the top. So what can you do to weigh them down? For the longest time, I used to always be racking my head, what can I do, what can I do? And then I finally figured out I'm gonna use a tumbler. Almost everybody has some type of tumbler in their house. You just take a tumbler, fill it up with sink water, put it on top of the plank, and they hold it right underneath the water perfectly while it's soaking. So if you don't have what you deem ideal tools. I guarantee you have a sheet pan just like this at home, and I guarantee you most likely have a tumbler or even just a glass that you could fill up with some water and put it on top, and that's gonna be plenty weight to weigh it down. The moral of the story, soak your planks for at least 15 minutes before you use them. So that's what we're doing here. We don't need a lot of ingredients for this. We're just gonna be using olive oil, and then I have the Lane's Barbecue Chili Lime Seasoning, which is really just gonna add to those flavors from the sweet chili glaze that we're gonna put on this. 2 great looking salmon fillets. Make sure you rinse and pat them dry. I've already done that before this. So let's go ahead and throw the olive oil on there. Super easy, just put a little bit on there, rub it around. We're gonna put olive oil on both sides. Put some olive oil on the skin. It'll be up to you if you want to leave the skin on or off. I leave it on, take it off at the end. Because I'm leaving the skin on, we only need to season one side. I'm not gonna go crazy with this. I'm gonna put these fillets off to the side. We'll get our ingredients for the sweet chili glaze. Put that together, and then we'll be ready to cook. The first ingredient in our sweet chili sauce is obviously sweet chili sauce, but we're gonna kick it up a little bit of a notch. You could obviously just take it store-bought as is and use it as a glaze, but I like to take it a little bit of a step further. I think it adds more flavor. I don't really measure things out by cups, tablespoons, all that. I just kind of eyeball it, and as I cook and learn, I tweak it based on that. But for the most part, you're gonna want to be heavier on the sweet chili sauce than everything else. Finish off the bottle. And then for our next ingredient, we're gonna add in sriracha hot chili sauce. We're not adding a lot in, you just wanna add a couple dashes of it because this stuff is hot. I mean, if you like hot stuff, go for it. I'm not overly into spicy things, but I do like a little bit of the flavor that it adds, so I'll add a little bit of a touch to it, a couple squirts. And our last item that we're gonna add is the Jacobsen hot honey sauce. It just adds a nice subtle flavor. And again, you don't need a whole lot. I'll put a little bit more than the sriracha sauce in there, and then we'll stir it all together. And that will be our great glaze. We've got all our ingredients ready, so it's time to start cooking. We've let the grill preheat plenty of time. I've got it set to medium. Remember, it's my first time plank cooking with this grill, so I'm still learning it. Everyone that's watching this at home, you might have a Hestan, you might have a different grill. So if it's your first time plank cooking, figure out your sweet spots with everything. I always start on the lower side, and if I need to raise the temperature, then I will, because it's always easier to go up than it is to come back down, especially once you start cooking. Let's go ahead and get these on. We're not gonna put the glaze on, I should say that as well. We're not gonna put that glaze on first because we don't want it to set. We wanna put that on when there's about 2 minutes, 3 minutes or so to go, so it doesn't fully set on this. Same concept as when you're doing chicken. If you've ever put a glaze on there and you put it on from the get-go, you know how it just kind of dries onto there. That's not what we want. We want to put it on at the end. I talk about it a lot in our videos too, and I figure this will be the video that I finally mention it. If you don't have good high heat gloves, come pick up a pair at Just Grillin'. We've got a really good set. You'd be surprised at how handy these things are, because that's what I'm gonna use when I'm putting these planks on. Let's go ahead and get them on. I almost forgot internal temperature. The FDA recommends 145 for salmon. I'm cooking to 135. I think that makes it ideal in terms of consistency, texture, taste, all of that. I think 135, but I am telling you, the FDA says 145. So this will be something that you'll just have to play around with and figure out what you want to do. But there's plenty of people in barbecue forums and different things that they say even 125 sometimes, but I like 135, so that's what we're going with. I've only got one burner on, so I'm gonna put the thinner side closer to the burner that's off. Good. The planks are doing pretty good. Didn't lose too much on the plank. Whew. You see we're still getting some smoke. Most of that black stuff is just the sweet chili sauce that we put on there. That kind of charred onto the plank, so that's not even really the plank burning too much. This salmon looks absolutely incredible. I know just by looking at this, it's gonna be good. Let's dive in and take a bite. That broke away so easy. I know this is gonna be good. Hats off to myself. That is honestly some of the best salmon I think I've even cooked for myself. It's super moist, it's flaky. The sweet chili adds a nice little bit of a sweetness to it, but you also have that heat from the hot honey and then sriracha that we put in there. And then the chili lime seasoning, it's a perfect marriage. It is that good. That is probably the best way that I can describe it to you. If you have questions on this, please just leave a comment below. I'll be sure to answer them for you. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.